a painting that I started a little bit earlier, and I just did a quick wash of water and then spread around some color. In this video, I want to talk about sort of my art journey and kind of like my art and the way it has improved and the way that I've kind of changed, and the way my style has changed, and the way I use media and all of that kind of stuff. But before I get into that, I kind of just want to say that I'm filming this voice recording without knowing what I'm gonna overlay it on top of. So I could be doing a sketchbook session, I could be painting something really big. It doesn't really matter to me. Sorry, my stomach is... I'm kind of hungry, honestly. Anyhow, it's really nice outside. So I just want... so I don't know what I'm doing right now in footage, but hopefully I'll figure it out when the time comes. And so I guess we'll just get into it. So I first started doing art in like 4th grade. That's when I got serious about it, because everybody draws when they're a little kid. Like, it's just like the thing that you do with crayons or oil pastels or whatever. But I started getting serious about it in 4th grade, and that's when I discovered a YouTuber called Gel Arts, and a bunch of other YouTubers like Draw with Jazza, Bailey J, when her channel used to be primarily an art channel, Draw with Waffles, all those people in that audience. And so I was very inspired by them. I wanted to draw just like Draw with Waffles, like this very kind of influenced by anime, but also it's not kind of style. And then eventually I got more into Gel Arts' style, very simplistic, very watercolor-ish kind of. I didn't really discover watercolors until maybe 6th grade, 5th grade, maybe near the end of 5th grade, something like that. But I didn't use it very much. I used more markers and other things. I didn't have very good supplies at the time, which it was fine. I didn't need very good supplies. I wasn't very utilizing of things around me. And then over COVID and lockdown 2020, my art improved a lot. Because I was home all day, so I would draw during Zoom. I would draw when I was not. I was drawing like all the time, and I would draw when we were going on like vacations or drives or whatever. And so I was drawing like pretty much every second of the day. So obviously that's going to make some kind of improvement, and it improved a lot, I would say. It was a very drastic change, and so that was interesting, to say the least. So I started developing my style a bit more, which I still don't even know what it is. It's a mix of a bajillion different things, and my style changes constantly anyways. Sometimes I feel like drawing anime, so I do a little bit more of an anime style. Sometimes I feel like doing a more simplistic, sort of a old Charlie Brown style that I've newly discovered, I guess. And then sometimes I just kind of draw like half realistically, half cartoon. It doesn't like it's a complete gamble, I guess, every time. It doesn't really matter for me. I do have a style, I think, now, but it's still very different, and again, it changes constantly. Depending on what I'm drawing, depending on the subject, etc. If I'm landscapes, portrait, whatever. But I very much was developing my style, or what is now the way I do stuff, over 2020 and middle school, basically. And then I think near the end of 8th grade, I grasped it a little bit better. But even 2 sketchbooks ago, I feel like that art was very different from then what I do now. I think things change constantly in my sketchbooks now, and that's a good thing. I don't know. It doesn't really, I don't think it's good or bad or anything. It's different. It's just different. And that's one thing I've come to kind of, I think I've always embraced, like, not worrying about my style, because I kind of just did it the way, like, I would do it. Like, I didn't try and change anything, except for a couple of times when I got, like, really into, like, different art YouTubers that definitely changed the way I draw. Yeah, I remember in middle school, or no, 2020, I think. It was at some point in 2020, I got really into watercolor, and I was very inspired by Juicy Ink / Victoria Gedvales. Anyway, she was a real inspiration to me, and she still is. I don't watch her as often now, but I remember I really got into watercolor and watercolor portraits, and I was really into it. And I was also inspired by Arlie Bean and a bunch of other, like, more abstract portrait artists, painters, and then so that inspired me a lot, and I got really into watercolors, and that's why I think I have a good amount now, and why I have a good grasp on watercolors now, because if I didn't go through that phase, I don't know where I would be right now in terms of, like, media. I might have just not been as good with watercolors now. I don't know. I feel like I definitely don't draw as much as I used to because of high school, which I don't mind because it makes me kind of slow down and, like, think, and it definitely makes me, like, a bit more motivated, I think, because then when I get those bursts of, like, creativity and, like, yeah, I'm gonna draw, like, 5 pages, then I let myself, because then I can come back to those and add on to it more and more. So that's where I am now, I guess, and I can't wait to see what happens next.